Hi friends, this is Financial Omniscient. Today we are here with Zomato IPO analysis. In this analysis, we will talk about how Zomato does its business, how it generates revenue, and what are its financial metrics and how it has performed in the last 4 to 5 years. Please kindly note that we are not SEBI registered analysts. This video is just for educational purposes. These are just our views, so please kindly consult your financial advisor before taking any decision on this IPO. And please kindly share, like, and subscribe our channel Financial Omniscient if you like it. Coming to what do Zomato do and how it generates its revenue. There are four ways in which revenue is generated for Zomato. They are food delivery business, dining out, Hyperpure, and Zomato Pro. Coming to food delivery business, Zomato doesn't make food. Restaurants make food, delivery partners deliver those food to the customer. This is the food delivery business which Zomato is involved in. So, how does Zomato generate revenue from food delivery? I'll tell now. In food delivery business, the revenue is generated through two ways. One is through advertising, and the second one is through transactions or commissions paid of the food. They generate revenue through advertising in this way. A restaurant pays some money for them for Zomato to advertise their hotel in their platform, and through commissions, the food that is being delivered to the customers, they have a part commissions in that price, through which they earn some revenue as well. In food delivery business, the costs involved are actually the delivery costs. They are the cost that they need to pay to the delivery partners for delivering food from restaurant to customers, and Zomato gives discounts. So those discounts are cost for the food delivery business, and marketing spend, they spend more money on marketing to grow their users. Coming to dining out business, in this business they already has many restaurants listed in their platform. You can actually book a table through Zomato, or you can pay out through Zomato to a restaurant when you went for a dining out. In this thing, the restaurants pay some money to advertise their hotels in Zomato platform, through which Zomato generates revenue. Coming to Hyperpure, it's a business in which the Zomato procures raw materials like fruits, vegetables, ingredients, or groceries from the farmers or other producers, and they'll deliver it to the hotels, through which they generate revenue between the cost of procuring and cost of selling to the restaurants. And coming to Zomato Pro, there is a this is a subscription based membership free for pro members. Those pro members will get discounts at around flat percentages on some hotels which are linked with Zomato. This is applicable on all days, only for some days like festivals, some other days that won't be applicable, through which Zomato generates some amount of money as well. Next, coming to the size of the IPO. The IPO size is 9,375 crores, out of which 9,000 crores is of a fresh issue and 375 crores is of offer for sale from InfoEdge. The retail quota is 10% and the price band is from 72 to 76 rupees, 195 shares in a lot. We have seen how Zomato generates its revenue and the size of the IPO. Now we will see how the money that is being proceeded through IPO will be spent on. In the DHRP that they have filed with SEBI, they have told that the money that is being proceeded from the IPO will be used for three different purposes. Those three different purposes are organic growth initiatives, in which they are going to use 40% of the net proceeds, and inorganic growth through acquisitions and other strategic initiatives, and the third one is general corporate purposes. In organic growth initiatives, there are three things in which they will put the 40% of the money: customer and user acquisition. This is one of the main core strength of their business. They need, the more the customers, the more will be the profits. So they are spending money to acquire new customers and to retain the old customers as well. And some marketing and trading costs will be there. For those, they are using these 40% of the net proceeds, some part of the 40%, and they want to increase their delivery infrastructure as well. They want to grow to new cities and maintain good standards as well, and they want to upgrade their technology infrastructure. With the technology revolution going on, they want to be a part of that. They have machine learning algorithms all running out. They have a good technology structure as well, so they want to put more money in those things. This one is a good one, because with the current trend, they has to be a part of the technology service as well. So looking at this organic growth initiative, it looks good. So I feel that they are spending their money in the right things, because for Zomato, the main three building pillars of the revenue or the business are customers and delivery partners and restaurants. So they are trying to acquire customers with the money that has been proceeded from IPO, and they are trying to increase their delivery strength. The third thing is they are trying to acquire some new technological advances as well. That's good for their business. And coming to inorganic growth and through acquisitions and other strategic initiatives, they actually procured Carthareto Tech Private Limited for logistics in the last year, and Uber India System Private Limited to increase their market share. They haven't told that what they are going to buy or acquire right now, but in the coming years, with the help of the IPO proceeds, some part of the money will be spent on increasing the market share, or buying or acquiring some firms which helps in their growth. And coming to general corporate purposes, they'll use around not more than 40% of the proceeds towards um, normal business or activities, like if they have want to spend on marketing, if they want to spend something else, or normal operating costs. Those are general corporate purposes. So this is how the IPO proceeded money 9,000 crore will be spent on. Next, coming to the company's performance, how they have performed in the last 3 years. This is the report which they have filed in the DHRP with SEBI, their financial statements. There is nothing much in profits actually in the last 3 years. It's okay, because they are actually now in a cash burning stage. One point to watch out here is the other expenses. In 2019 they were 29,389 million, and in 2020 it went up to 40,016 million, and in 2021 it decreased to 15,283 million. This is because they are getting organic growth of subscribers because of their existing subscribers. So their advertisement and marketing spend has gone down in the 2021 year. It's a good sign, because their business motto is to bring customers from their existing customers, so it's working. So those were the other expenses it is showing is of marketing expense, odd things. So it is decreasing, so it helps them And revenue from generations operations, if you see, it is 13,125. It went up to 26,047 and it decreased to 19 in 2021. This is because of COVID, so it's okay. When things go back to normal, it will again regain its growth trajectory. So that is how the company has performed in the last 3 years. It's okay with these numbers. I think it can grow from here. If it makes a profit of around 2,000 million or uh, 4,000 million in the next year, it would be okay. That's a good trajectory. Coming to some key operating and financial metrics, here we'll learn about some financial metrics of Zomato. MAU, monthly active users; MTU, monthly transacting users. Monthly active users are those people who at least come into Zomato's site or app in once in a month. Monthly transacting users are those who actually order something in Zomato platform once in a month. These are the categories. So if we look at the last 3 years data, in 2019 the average MAU was 29.3 million and it increased to 41.5 million. It has decreased in the year 2021, that is because of COVID. And MTU was 5.6 million, increased to it almost doubled. 10.7 million people has transacted monthly in the year 2020, and it has gone down in 2021, a bit of lockdowns and all the COVID restrictions. Coming to the food delivery restaurants that has been active in Zomato's platform, it was 94,286 and increased it to 1,48,384. They have added some more restaurants in even during COVID lockdown periods in 2021. That's a good sign. Coming to ZOE, ZOE is gross order value, the amount of money that is cumulative of all the orders that are placed in the year. Coming to that, it has increased from 53,000 to 1,12,000 million, but it decreased a bit by around 15% in the year 2021. That's not a bad sign. Actually, because of the COVID lockdowns, even in those restrictions, they have maintained almost equal to the 2020 performance. The number of orders volume has increased from 191 million to 403 and it has decreased a bit to 238. Total income from 13,977 million to 27,427 million and decreased to 21. It's okay. EBITDA is around, their EBITDA has from a loss of 21,438 million to 3,251 million. It's okay. This trajectory is good actually. They are right now, as I told, they are at cash burning stage. With the help of this IPO money, they can actually turn those numbers into positive and can generate more money. Coming to some other performance metrics, this is just average order value. So how this is calculated by the total order value by the number of orders. In Q1 FY 2020, it was 264.6 rupees per order. It has increased to around 400 rupees in just 2 years. That is an amazing growth. Coming to gross order value, in third quarter of 2020, it was 27,852 million. It has gone down to 10,936 in the Q1 of 2021 due to the lockdown, and it slowly picked up as the economic growth picked up. And in the fourth quarter of 2021, it regained at the end. It has gone above the Q3 performance of FY 2020. It reached around at 33,130 million. So it also looks good. Now I'll tell about how GOV retention by cohorts. This is like when a person has initially started buying something in Zomato in the year 2017. What has he spent in the 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021? So I have bought 1 rupee worth thing in Zomato and I have bought increased my spending pattern. Like it has increased from 1 to 1.6 in 2018. In 2019, it increased to 2.2. It increased to 3.0 in 2020, and it fell to 2.9 in 2021. So this chart is like when a person who has joined Zomato in 2017 and transacted with 1 rupee, he is transacting now 2.9 rupees. The person who has joined in 2018 transacted 1 rupee is now transacting 2.4 times. The person who joined in Zomato in 2019 transacted 1 rupee is now transacting 1.1, and the person who transacted 1 rupee in 2020 is transacting zero point 0.7. So mixing all these, that is evident that Zomato are regaining their customers value, so customers are coming back to spend more in the uh, Zomato apps. So that is a good sign. Coming to one of those metrics, advertising and sales promotion expenses as percentage of total income. So in the fiscal year 2019, they have spent 88.43% of their total income in advertising and sales. It has gone down to 24% in 2021. This is because I have already told you that the more the number of customers in Zomato, the less the advertising and sales promotion, the more will be the organic growth, because people will bring people. This is how Zomato's business works. So next, we'll see how the GOE of in the industry has grown for the last 4 years and how Zomato's GOE has grown. In the year, if we uh, index it to 100 rupees, so the GOA has of Zomato has gone from 100 to 404 to 841. It came back to 711. Whereas the industry has underperformed Zomato. It started at 100, it went to 277 to 613, it decreased to 362. So when comparing with the industry, Zomato is performing well in terms of GOV, gross order value. One of the comparisons of India, the geographical markets of all the world, will compare with India, US, and China. India's population is 1.38 billion, and US has 0.33 billion, and China has 1.44. The people who have access to internet of the population the country comes at, India has a 50% access to internet with the respect to number of people in India, and US has 94 and China has 68. The online food delivery market in India is 2.4 billion, US is 49 and China is 110. Restaurant food consumption, with respect to food consumption, whole food consumption of the country is at around 10% for India and at 50% for US and 40 to 45% for China. So we are at early stage of transforming into urban and semi-urban culture. So we'll slowly grow even in this online food delivery market and restaurant foods. So there is much scope for Zomato. There will be higher demand in the coming future. And coming to online food delivery users, the India has a population of 1.3 billion and around 8% of those has access to internet. Sorry, out of those 49% who have access to internet, only 8% use online food delivery apps in India. When compared to US, it is 38 and in China it is 53. So there is a huge demand gap where actually the Zomato can work on to bring the customers to its platform. It's just around 8% of the people who has access to internet in India are using some online food delivery apps. If it increases, the market share of Zomato can increase, the profits can increase. So with the IPO process, they will work on these things. As I have told the organic growth story, how they are going to put money in acquiring customers and retaining them. This will be one part where they can look on, and they are looking on that. Coming to some unit economics, like an order has been placed in some 100 rupees or 150 rupees or something, some X. For those order in FI 2020, the commission and other charges were 43.6 rupees, and the customer delivery charge was 15.3 rupees. These all goes into Zomato's revenue, and their cost are the delivery cost, which is 52 rupees, the Zomato discount 21.7% rupees, and other variable costs are 15.7. So they made a loss of 30.5 rupees on a unit order in FI 2020. When it comes to FI 2021, the commission and other charges has increased to 62 from 43, and the customer delivery charges has increased from 15 to 27, and the delivery cost has gone down from 52 to 45, and the discounts they have decreased from 21 to 8. Other variable costs are at 15, and their profit has gone up. They had gone from a loss of 30 rupees to a profit of 20. This is just because of the market share they have got, and the people are using their Zomato app frequently, so they have been changing the pricing pattern, which helps, and more customers will be coming to Zomato. So the unit economics has increased, and it is turning into good shape. According to my view, Zomato IPO is a good thing. I personally believe that I'll apply for Zomato IPO for just listing gains or for short-term view. For long term, I have to look the performance of the company for the next 6 to 10 years. I believe that it is going to list at around 100 rupees, but these are all my views. So please kindly consult your financial advisor before taking any decision. We are not, once again, I am telling that we are not any SEBI registered advisors. So please consult your financial advisors. And if you like our video, please kindly like, share, subscribe to Financial Omniscient. Stay safe and happy investing. Thank you.